But this is not a benign illness. A lot of people will recover, no doubt, but a lot of people will get sick. A lot of people will die. This is the reality. So having a strategy is important. Accountability is important. What about schools? What about opening of schools? That's the debate that's raging on in Mpumalanga. It's where I want to take you next. Tumelo Matocho is covering this story for us with regards to a number of schools, we understand, Tumelo, have been closed in Mpumalanga. And the schools were closed by parents and learners. Tell us more.
Well, Blade, we understand that about 15 schools have been closed in Mpumalanga alone. About 5 schools here in Masoi, where we are, have been closed by parents. 6 schools in Carolina have also been closed. 3 schools in Bushbuck Ridge and 1 in Matsulo has also been closed, making the school about 15 schools that have been closed since the beginning of this week. I'll just ask Lungile to give you like a sense of what's going on here at Masoi Primary School. The school has been closed since Monday by parents. On Tuesday, some of the learners returned to school, trying to come to school, but the parents turned them away because parents don't want their kids to come back to school, because they're saying that kids, they will come back to school and they will be in contact with other kids, then they will bring the coronavirus to homes, and also they're afraid that they will also contract the coronavirus themselves as parents, because these kids are meeting other kids from communities around here. So schools, from primary schools to high schools, have been closed around the area, and also here in Mpumalanga. You remember that Mpumalanga has over 7,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus and over 5,000 active cases, and only about 2,200 rather have been fully recovered. So the parents are still cautious because they know that the number here in Mpumalanga is growing every day. So they don't want their kids to go back to school, because they know that the kids will come back home and they will come with coronavirus, because some of these schools, especially here in Masoi, is a rural community. So this community here, they know that they don't have enough money, and also they say that they don't have even enough money to provide their kids with hand sanitizers before they can go to school, with masks and all those kind of things. So they don't want their kids to come back to school and then bring corona back into the community, because this community here, it's a rural community. The community here don't have enough money to actually protect themselves, but they're saying that they want to protect their kids and they want to protect themselves by not allowing their kids to go back to school. It's a debate that has been happening here in Mpumalanga since the schools have started reopening, because most of the schools in rural parts of Mpumalanga don't have proper sanitation, don't have proper water, running water in their schools. So parents are very cautious about letting their kids go back to school. So that's why they are not allowing their kids go back to school. In Carolina, we understand that about 6 schools have been closed there. 1 school was closed after one of the kids tested positive for COVID-19, and parents around the community decided that they have to shut down all of the 6 schools that are in the community to make sure that there are not more cases reported in that area, because it's a small area. About 30 cases have been reported in Carolina, and it's a very small community, so they don't want the cases to go up. So that's why they decided to keep their kids out of the school. In Bushbuck Ridge, the issue of water is still a challenge there. The community there, they're still struggling with water and sanitation. That's why they're keeping their kids away from the school. Also in Matsulo, we understand that the parents closed the school, a primary school there, because they're saying that they don't even have water in their school. The water tanker that was provided by the department is not being filled up every day. So they're saying that they cannot allow their kids to go back to school. It is a crisis here in Mpumalanga, because parents don't want to take their kids to school knowing that their kids might contract the coronavirus at school. Blaine?
You know, scientists tell us that when children contract the virus, their symptoms are less severe than adults. Many are asymptomatic. You saying that many parents in your province don't find comfort in this notion. What about the health protocols that have been laid out in terms of what schools should be, adhering to? Has that been sufficient in terms of the social distancing, the physical distancing, the wearing of masks, sanitization? Is that happening at an adequate level to give parents comfort?
Well, the department is providing schools and around the province with sanitizers and also face masks for some of the schools, especially in poor schools. But also there are marks around the schools that to make sure that kids do practice social distancing. There are marks across the school playgrounds to make sure that kids actually do practice social distancing. But parents are not finding this comfort because they know, especially for primary school learners, they understand that these primary school learners, they will not practice social distancing if there is a break time, if there is a situation where the kids have to be in outside the school. So they don't want these kids to actually interact with other kids, especially in a crowded area where the school is concerned, because they know that kids will practice social distancing when there's an adult there. But they're saying that the parents will, if their teachers are not there to actually enforce social distancing among children, that will not happen. That's why they're saying that they would rather keep their kids at home, not to bring them to school, because they know that they're going to be interacting with more than 1 or 3 children at the same time. So that for them is, they're not finding any comfort from that, Blaine.
Yeah, you know, the WHO has also issued caveats. When you have exploding COVID spread in a community, it's going to be very difficult to keep schools open within that community. And I guess it all goes back to controlling COVID within the community by following the health protocols, which is wash your hands, watch your space, and obviously wear a mask. Tumela Machoko, live for us in Mpumalanga. We thank you very much indeed, my friend. We'll come back to you in a short while.